Welcome back. It's turned into a popular phrase, the core memory.
Yes.
Here to talk to us about it is Dr. Reneh Karamians with the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. Hi, Dr. Karamians.
Hi there.
So can you first tell us what is a core memory?
Well, a core memory, what in kind of the more scientific community we call flashbulb memories, are kind of emotionally charged memories that typically have some sort of meaning to the individual. So, for example, it may be that you rode your bike for the first time. This is a novel kind of event, and there's a lot of rewards, kind of rewarding feelings involved with it, which we have dopamine release in the brain. It might be something emotionally charged, spending time with grandparents, for example, for a summer. So typically there's some sort of emotional aspect to it versus a kind of memory of like, what color shirt did I wear yesterday? Which, if you ask me what color shirt I wouldn't be able to remember. So that's kind of the difference.
Now, doctor, why is it, for example, I'll be in my kitchen, I'll have my phone 1 second, I sit it down, can't remember where the heck I put it, but then I can remember something from 8th grade, and here I am almost a senior citizen. Why is that the case when it comes to our memories?
Yeah, well, again, it's that kind of emotional aspect that kind of what we call tags the memory. So remembering something in 8th grade, that event that you're recalling probably had some sort of meaning to you, probably had some sort of emotionally charged aspect to it that, putting your phone down somewhere does not. So the brain tends to remember things that engender emotion, and that's kind of what tags the memory to be recalled later on. And then obviously, if it's a pleasant event, we rehearse pleasant events in our minds. So you can imagine, you went camping or did something when you were a child. You reminisce, you talk to family members about it, and you kind of rehearse that memory in your mind. And then that helps to kind of keep the memory stronger. Again, as opposed to putting your phone down somewhere where, that's not a substantial enough event to kind of spark the brain into incorporating it for a long period of time.
So you talked about how pleasant events can be a core memory. What about negative events? Is that a possibility that they can become core memories too?
Absolutely, yes. So our brain is wired to tag negative memories also. And so let's say let's take it from a perspective of a child. If a child does something that causes pain, I remember when I was a child, my parents told me not to do this. Was before homes were child-proofed. I stuck a little safety pin into the electric socket and got quite a bit of a shock. Well, that was a kind of a negative memory, and I remember that very vividly. I never did that again, obviously, because the emotional aspect, the amygdala, the area of the brain, that kind of sets off an alarm that says this thing that you just did is dangerous. That is very close to the hippocampus, where memories are kind of stored and then distributed to the cortex for long-term storage. That is the kind of thing that you're going to remember as well, is that this caused pain, and you're going to remember that.
Why is it, doctor, when it comes to issues of, like, for example, trauma, maybe you had a very traumatic childhood, for example, some of those memories are like almost completely forgotten? Why is it that people have that reaction as well to some memories?
Yeah, well, that is moving more toward into Freudian kind of psychodynamic theory, where so events that are extremely traumatic are then repressed because perhaps at the time the mind is not ready to process that information, and those memories are repressed, meaning they're essentially put aside and not given access. and this is primarily done by the frontal area of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, where you may at some point dream about those things, but then when you wake up, you won't remember those dreams because, again, the cortex wakes up when you wake up, and then it represses that again. So what we do through therapy, psychodynamic therapy, is we try to get those repressed memories to come forth and be processed by the individual's mind. So things that are too traumatic tend to get repressed, and that's why that happens.
What are some tips to increase my core memories or help my memory on regular everyday tasks?
Well, there's no real way of doing that I know of. I mean, core memories are formed when there's, again, some sort of joyous event or some sort of a something that is meaningful that happens to you. So, short of perhaps, spending a lot more time with friends and spending a lot more time doing things that you enjoy, that's kind of the only way that I can think of to have you facilitate the development of more kind of core memories. Just good advice.
Doctor, it seems as though, especially when people start to get older, their memory starts to, kind of fade. So it sounds like because, you see these things where it's like, this will increase your memory. This is a memory exercise. It sounds like those are kind of gimmicky.
I believe a lot of those are gimmicky, especially the ones that are kind of game based. You will get better at the game. Obviously, you'll do better, but that won't generalize to your everyday life. There is something called cognitive rehabilitation that we do that has been shown to kind of generalize and improve memory, but that involves having the individual practice tasks that they would do on a daily basis. So then it does generalize because they're practicing tasks that they would do on a daily basis, like, paying bills and things like that. Whereas the games, these game-based apps that you play, we don't encounter tasks like that in the everyday world. So they typically, you might get better at the game and your scores show improvement, but really your memory in everyday life won't improve. So yeah, I believe, it's my opinion, that a lot of those games are somewhat gimmicky, yes.
And lastly, doctor, for people who want to learn more about core memories, where can they find you on social media or online?
Well, you can always go to the ChicagoSchool.edu. I don't really have a whole lot of social media presence. I do have a Twitter account that I can't even remember the tag for. So my contact info is on the website, my email, my office phone number. So they can always contact me there. Maybe someday soon I'll have some
you got to get with it, Doc. Come on. Time to get on social media. That's where everybody's hanging out. All right, Doc.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get something started.
Yeah, you can take this clip, put it on there, and you can start today. Dr. Reneh Karamians, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being with us.